Welcome back to the Course Report Q&A series where we talk to bootcamp instructors, alumni, career coaches, curriculum developers, everyone to help you understand what you can expect from your experience at a top tech bootcamp. Today, I'm joined by Elise Dietrich, who is on the curriculum team at TripleTen, and we're going to dive into the world of AI education at TripleTen. Specifically, we'll talk about their brand new AI Automations Bootcamp. So if you've got questions about that AI Automations Bootcamp or how TripleTen is integrating AI into its existing boot camps, or just like what the future of AI education looks like for career changers who are going through TripleTen, then stay tuned because we're going to talk about it all. So Elise, thank you so much. Welcome, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here.
Well, let's start with the big picture. Why is it so important, especially for career changers and for aspiring engineers, to understand the fundamentals of AI in 2025? Why is this a priority?
Yeah, so in 2025, the job market is a lot tougher than it was back when the boot camp boom in the 2018, 2019 timeframe occurred. And so when you're starting out, whether you're a boot camp grad or a college grad, you're trying to compete against much more experienced talent, someone who's been doing this for a couple of years, et cetera. And so one way you can actually stand out is sure, this person has 2 years of experience, but I know how to use AI. And it makes you more productive, it makes you a faster worker. And as a manager trying to balance a budget, someone who can produce more work in the same amount of time is always going to be the top pick in terms of the candidate pool.
For sure. And I feel like we just see all these headlines today
Mhm.
about AI replacing junior developers, other like junior entry level positions in tech. But from your perspective, you are seeing that AI tools can actually help early career professionals launch their tech careers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. And so, while a junior role might start to look different over the next 3 to 5 years, where a junior developer might have had to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, maybe knowing the syntax of those languages is less important, and really understanding those basic computational thinking patterns is more important because I can have AI actually write the code and I can just check it. Um, but again, it's all about who is willing to dive in with those tools and be at the cutting edge. It's going to land you the role. And as all of these professions develop and create their new junior equivalents, AI is definitely going to be in there and it'll just be a slight shift from what it is today.
So helping in some ways or redefining. Okay, cool. So let's dig into the TripleTen AI Automations Bootcamp, which is relatively new, right?
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what the program is and like who it's actually designed for?
Yeah, so AI automations is really what it says on the box. It's about knowing how to leverage AI tools effectively and then how to scale that with automation. So it's not like I need to sit there and copy paste things into ChatGPT. I'm going to actually set up workflows that are fully automated and generate value month over month or week over week, depending on what it is. And so, who it's designed for, when we're writing the curriculum, we try to pick a few different roles we imagine pivoting into this role. So, like mid-level managers, government staff, customer service, retail ops, admins, like people who have worked a desk job and kind of know what business processes look like, whether they're running them or just part of them. Would be a really good fit for this. Not to say other people wouldn't, but just being able to appreciate, okay, this is how a business is run is going to give them a unique sense of where can I automate this? Where can I slip in AI? And it'll make it easier for them to make that transition.
Interesting. That's for somebody who's already working in the field or working at a desk job or in an admin job. Is there such thing as like an AI automation engineer? Is that a new role that we're kind of seeing?
So, I mean, AI automations is aimed at a number of different roles, and it's such a new role that there's about half a dozen titles for it. AI operations specialist, AI integration specialist, AI business process automation specialist no code, AI automation specialist, integration solution specialist. Like, there's so many names for this role that it's actually kind of hard for us to capture what is the demand on the market, but we see it there in all of the names and it's coming out more and more. So we're kind of making a little bit of a bet that this is where the workforce is going, and we're just going to see those roles open up more and more over time.
Is there any like domain specificity there? Are you seeing that specialist role more in demand in like, certain industries or like certain domains, or is it just kind of across the board?
It's across the board. And I would say it's more about how cutting edge the business is. Because like if I'm going to lean in and adopt AI as a business, whether I'm an education business or fintech or whatever, I'm going to be cutting edge in terms of business operations. And I'm going to be looking for these roles sooner. So right now, it's kind of the first adopter wave of people using AI. I mean, we use AI TripleTen internally a bunch for things. And so I could see the first waves of our graduates are going to wind up in those cutting edge companies in a very exciting way. But I see this program being alive for many years, and the scale of job openings as the middle of the pack adopters come will skyrocket.
So, what are the specific like tools and skills that we're talking about for the AI automations bootcamp? Are we talking about like prompt engineering? You mentioned building workflows. That seems like a huge piece of this. Like integrating with APIs. What should somebody expect to actually learn in the curriculum?
Yeah, so from the AI side, you're going to learn about LLMs, text to image models. You've seen these things in ChatGPT and Anthropic, but we're going to use actually Nebius Studio because we're a Nebius company. But we're also going to focus in on AI automation tools. So N8N, robotic process automation tools like UiPath, as well as like vanilla automation tools like Make. So all of that will be covered. So you know how to do AI, you know how to do AI automation all together. Um, yeah.
Do you find that somebody needs to be particularly technical in order to do the AI automations bootcamp?
I mean, you need basic computer skills, but after
Sure.
that, we teach you everything.
Okay.
And honestly, the profile of the person that's going to succeed in this role is someone who is great talking to people. You're going to have different stakeholders. You're going to have people you have to argue budget for. You're going to have to get friendly with whoever's process you're going to interrupt with this AI thing. And so, as far as being a tech boot camp, we're very aware there's people skills that go hand in hand in this, and that's folded into the curriculum in many ways.
And will students be building like projects? I'm assuming this is pretty project based
Yeah.
for a curriculum.
Yeah, for sure. So, TripleTen, we break all of our programs into sprints that are usually 2 weeks. And at the end of every sprint, you're delivering a project. So, some of the projects you're building out throughout this program include an AI powered chatbot, which everyone and their mom now has in their company for the most part, building an AI powered automation, like using Google Sheets and Make, developing an AI agent, which is someone or a robot that can actually do a task that's a little bit more higher level, hook into a real world system using integrations, think like webhooks and APIs, and implementing robotic process automation. So something a little more complex that kind of auto runs by itself. You don't have to trigger it and just lives for eternity.
The AI automation bootcamp is part time. It's something that someone could like balance with their with a full-time job or a part-time job?
All of our boot camps at TripleTen are part-time, asynchronous. You find up to 20 hours in your week where you can study, whether it's nights, whether it's weekends. Um, and you log in, and there's always help for you no matter what time of day. And you just continue as best you can around your
That's
schedule.
cool because it sounds like this specific bootcamp would be great for somebody who is already working and could even like bring their like a work problem to solve like with one of those projects or at the end of one of those sprints. Okay, so if you do the boot camp, let's say you're like getting close to the end of it, how do you suggest that somebody actually use that AI automation training to really stand out in the job market? Are we adding this to our LinkedIn? Is this something that we're talking to our manager about? Are we applying for new jobs? Is there career support as a part of the program?
It depends on what you want to do. So, if you want a completely new job, I would suggest following all the career projects along the way, which includes writing your resume, writing up your LinkedIn, learning how to send networking messages, etc. But also double down on that. Like, you wrote up a LinkedIn profile, use it every time you finish a sprint, post about this cool new project. We're telling you to, like, this is how you write a networking message. Start writing networking messages in the program so you can be hired by the time you graduate, all of that stuff. If you have a job you love and you're looking for a promotion, I would do those things just to be on the safe side, but you can talk to our career coaches one on one and be like, hey, how do I have this conversation with my manager where I can pitch these are my new skills and this is what I want to do with them in this company? Because we have a number of people who have successfully pivoted within companies they were already working in.
Beyond the AI automation bootcamp, TripleTen also has always offered boot camps for more like for career changers, right? And like
Mhm.
software engineering, data science, QA. Am I missing any? BI
BI,
analytics. Okay,
analytics, UX, UI design, cybersecurity. We have a bunch
everything.
now. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so is AI being also integrated into the curriculum at those like more traditional boot camps?
Yeah, so AI is included in all of our programs today. We have an AI literacy chapter towards the beginning because we know, like, if you go out into the world, you're going to run into this. And so it's basic AI literacy stuff like what on earth is an LLM? Evaluating the output. How do I write a prompt? But also using it ethically and protecting privacy. Because the last thing we want anyone to do is upload a spreadsheet full of customer data into ChatGPT. That is the wrong way to use it, and we need everyone to know that immediately. So that's on all of our programs today. We also have actually AI in our platform, and it's this cute little chat agent called Dot. And you can highlight in the text and hit explain, and Dot will pop up and explain it to you. If you get an error in your Jupyter notebook in data science, there'll be a button that's like, hey, do you need help? You can have that explained. You can just chat with it whenever you want. It's in the top right-hand corner. And it'll help with everything from explaining concepts to I'm stuck on this part of my project, because it can actually see your code and look at like what's the project you're working on and give you really targeted feedback. And honestly, we ask students use Dot over like ChatGPT because A, Dot has all the context of all of our program, and B, it's designed to help instead of just give you the answer. I would also say, though, we're working on actually implementing program-specific pieces of curriculum for, let's say, software engineering. Knowing how to use GitHub Copilot is like a basic skill at this point for all software engineers, so that's in there. For UX, UI design, I mean, Figma has built-in AI, but also things like Recraft, Midjourney, V0. So there's the general stuff at the beginning, there's Dot throughout the program, and we're sprinkling in program-specific AI curriculum along the way.
That is a great summary. Could you talk a little bit more about how the curriculum team at TripleTen is helping students to make sure that they're not just using AI, but like thinking critically about it? You mentioned making sure that a student isn't just uploading a bunch of customer data into ChatGPT. Are you covering topics like ethics and responsible use?
Yes. So again, it's a part of that AI literacy chapter at the beginning, but also as we get into the program specific topics, reminding them like, hey, you're a data scientist. Some of the data you're going to use is inappropriate to be uploaded to AI, or hey, you're a BIA analyst. I know it's really tempting to click that Gemini button in the corner, but this has private information. So we're going to clone this, remove all the PII before we add AI into the mix. And these are practices that everyone already uses today. And we're trying to make sure that everyone's using it as safely as possible in the future.
It's so important. And I feel like this is a difference between somebody just like trying to learn one of these new tools on their own and doing it through a guided course and having that be a part of the actual curriculum, because it's really something that a lot of people are not thinking about. Super important. So love that
Mm-hmm.
that's a part of this. So you mentioned before that instructional support that students get in the AI Automations Bootcamp is somebody has access to a real person and a teacher, a mentor, an instructor as they go along.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is true for all of our boot camps, and not just AI automations. There's, of course, instructors. These are the people who are going to review your projects, but also answer any questions you have, whether that's a text based format in our community tool called the Hub, or if you attend office hours or schedule a one on one video call, you can actually talk to them like real people, like we're doing now, and screen share your project and get instant help. On top of instructors, which are subject matter experts, they know what they're doing in the community and everything. We have learning coaches and career coaches, which help you along your journey. So when you start at TripleTen, you get a learning coach, and they're here to help you with basically, how do I do this education thing on top of all of my other priorities? Or I haven't been in school in 10 years. What does learning look like now? Or I've only sat in a classroom. I don't know how to self direct my learning. And so your learning coach is there for any kind of how do I teach myself or learn this skill? And then as you get into the program, you're going to have a bunch of career projects, and your career coach is there to help hold your hand through resume writing, LinkedIn crafting, all of that, so that by the time you graduate, you're ready to be introduced to your placement coordinator. And so all of our programs come with a 10-month money back guarantee window where basically, if you don't get a job at the end of 10-month job searching, you get your money back in terms of tuition. And so our placement coordinator is there for those 10 months along the way to make sure you're applying for jobs, you're networking, you know how to actually craft your resume to the job you're applying to, how to craft those networking messages, that you're sending those networking messages when you apply for a job, all of that. So lots of people to support you in summary.
Many different touch points. So, Elise, we are seeing a lot of these AI courses pop up online, and that's something that I think about a lot. But what do you think a student should look for in a strong AI curriculum?
So, a couple things would be anything beyond buzzwords. Like prompt engineering is a really old buzzword. If you're still like looking for prompt engineering courses, you're about 3 to 5 years out of date. Um, think about what would you actually want to use AI for? What seems useful? You should get value out of that activity. And so, one of the reasons it's an AI automations bootcamp is because AI is great, but having to run it yourself is annoying, and having it just automatically done for you adds real value. So look for things that actually fill gaps in your life, in your business, things that are going to immediately add value, not just, hey, there's this cool buzzword. I'm going to learn about how to prompt ChatGPT, or I'm going to learn about AI agents, but there isn't a hands-on project that actually applies it to the real world. Then it's just, might as well listen to a podcast on it.
I think those are three great tips. Go beyond the buzzwords, think about what you actually want to use AI for, and look for hands-on projects. Um, that is really good advice. I would totally back that up. Um, and so are you already seeing like talk to me about like the last year, I guess. Are you seeing that those skills are actually making students more hireable in 2025? Like, how are employers responding to automation literate candidates now?
Yeah, so definitely we're noticing that students who do really cool AI projects, for example, in our data science program, are getting picked up a lot faster. And we're seeing it pop up in job descriptions throughout, whether it's an AI automations role or just a role in general. I mean, on a personal note, like I have friends looking for jobs and they're like, oh, and they talk about AI in this JD. Like it's just coming up more and more. And so definitely as everyone becomes more curious about it, if you're willing to dive in and be like, hey, I know AI, I'm willing to try it, you're going to be more employed.
So looking ahead, sorry. So looking ahead, what's on the horizon for AI education at TripleTen? You mentioned if you're looking for prompt engineering courses, you're 3 to 5 years behind already. Like things are moving really quickly. Is there anything you can share about what's coming up at TripleTen?
Yeah, so our AI automations is kind of our first big AI product coming out, but we're also looking into upskilling. Like I mentioned at the top of this, like there's so many people who have a job that they love, but need that AI boost. And so we're actually considering a number of different courses, whether it's going to be AI for managers, AI for marketers, AI for whatever, where we can actually tailor AI specific real world projects for that role. Because again, if you're not doing a real world project, like what are you doing? Um, and so definitely keep an eye out for those upskilling courses. They'll be amazing.
All right, fantastic. We'll keep an eye out for those. Um, and I think, Elise, you've given a lot of great, like very tangible advice, great tips throughout this. But is there anything that we haven't covered? Is there one piece of advice that you give to students who want to get the most out of their time at TripleTen or specifically out of the AI Automations Bootcamp?
Yeah, so I'd say the most successful students at TripleTen are going above and beyond the curriculum. They're trying to make their projects into something that brings them joy. Their portfolio is full of things they care about. When they graduate, they keep working, they keep building those projects on top of projects. I think I just heard a story about one of our graduates who got placed, and literally they built a project a month through the active job search period afterwards, to the point where like TripleTen was like one little line in their resume, and they just had this list of projects. And this was someone who was a Russian teacher, like who taught Russian to Americans, and they just had just such a compelling portfolio that they got hired. And so always being able to bring value into the world through your projects is so key, and it demonstrates to the person hiring you what value you're going to bring to them once you're on their team.
I think that is so important, going above and beyond the curriculum, really focusing on your portfolio. All very good advice. Well, Elise, thanks so much for sharing your insights at working on the curriculum team and walking us through how TripleTen is really preparing students for the future of work through AI education. So, if you are interested in learning more about the AI Automations Bootcamp or any of TripleTen's career changing programs, you can check out the full profile on Course Report, or you can look at TripleTen.com. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and the Course Report newsletter. Well, you won't miss out on our next Q&A. Thanks again, Elise. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks.